Thank you, Hannah and Emma, for that amazing introduction. I love you guys. And thank you to the Doors, Eleanor and Lily, for that amazing performance. And lastly, thank you, Rev, for everything you do and for making this talk happen tonight. My story begins in the 3rd grade when I left the familiar comfort of my elementary school, surrounded by my best friends, and transitioned to a specialized school for dyslexic students. Until then, I never saw myself as different from my peers, except for the little things, like how I'd write my name backwards while they seemed to write theirs with ease, or how I would memorize the words in a book rather than actually know how to read them. The shift from a 3-minute drive down the dirt road to a daunting 35-minute journey on the highway felt overwhelming and uncertain. Looking back, my first year at Windward reveals a lot about who I was at the time. Although I was surrounded by students who shared similar struggles, I saw myself as more capable than them. Instead of embracing the fact that I wasn't alone, I distanced myself and looked down on my peers. I didn't have the comfort of knowing my house was 3 minutes down the road like it used to be, and I didn't have the same friends I had had since childhood. So, I found the perfect solution to easing my anxiety. I had my mom sit in the school parking lot from drop-off to pick up. Safe to say I have a pretty good mom. It wasn't until 5th grade that I felt comfortable at school after meeting a group of friends. But that sense of security did not last long. Wearing a bow in my hair, silver flats instead of the same Adidas sneakers everyone else wore, and dressing up head to toe for holidays like Valentine's Day soon became a joke to my peers. I vividly remember asking my friends what winter sports they were signing up for, and they told me Zumba. So, Zumba it was. On the first day, I showed up in bright pink leggings, a turquoise top, and pigtails, ready to dance, only to watch them walk into the gym in volleyball outfits. That moment marked a shift. I began receiving phone calls from groups of girls laughing at me, text messages threatening my life, and photos of my so-called friends hanging out together while I sat at home alone. I didn't try to make new friends, but instead, I began to conform to someone I thought they would want to be friends with. My silver flats and big bows were thrown out, and talking behind others' backs and wearing clothes that did not match my personality seemed like an easy way to make my way into this group. And it worked. I switched schools at the start of 7th grade, ready for a new beginning. I once again made a group of friends, and I had a great first year, allowing my true colors to show again. By 8th grade, I started noticing the same patterns with my friendships. I would watch my friends leave school early to go to the nail salon, sit together at lunch, sign up for the same sports, and coordinate matching outfits every day. Every time I was myself, I felt ashamed of it. One night, I was sitting at home in my bed. I got a notification from Instagram. Kingsley Brown has requested to follow you. I clicked on the account, and about 20 ugly photos were posted of me. Ones that were taken when I didn't know, sitting at lunch alone, having a bad hair day, or sitting in the nurse's office to avoid interaction with people. The account had over 40 followers, but it may as well have been hundreds. My life felt out of control. My once joyful 3rd grade self became a malnourished, pale, and unhappy version of me. My family moved to a different town, and I began high school, a brand new start. To me, that meant really fitting in this time around. I often told lies to my friends to appear cooler than I was, and honestly, it was working. While I had found many friends and I was invited to their plans, I was most definitely not myself. But to me, my weekend plans and social status seemed far more important than showing my true colors. My friends constantly talked behind each other's backs, so I did the same to fit in. They did not take school seriously, so I didn't either. They skipped lunch because it was embarrassing to eat in front of boys, so I did too. I knew I wasn't being myself, but at the time, I convinced myself that it did not matter. Keeping up this act felt necessary, but it was exhausting. Over time, pretending to be someone I wasn't began to take a toll on me, not just at home, but at school too. My parents noticed the change, and one winter afternoon during my sophomore year, they sat me down to talk. Without them saying a word, my gut was telling me what this conversation was about. It was in that moment that I realized I was not just letting my parents down, I was letting myself down. I had lost sight of what mattered most, and I wasn't doing anything that made me proud. my life felt empty and unfulfilling, dominated by a version of me that I didn't even recognize. My parents suggested the idea of boarding school, something both of my siblings had experienced. At first, the thought was daunting, but the more I reflected, the more it seemed like an opportunity to break free from this false image I had created. It was my chance to start over, not to fit in this time, but to be myself. I had to embark on a journey of self-discovery. Through conversations with therapists and a lot of reflection, I realized that I could no longer let my identity be shaped by the people I surrounded myself with. I needed to uncover who I truly was by exploring my own passions and interests. Coming to terms with the pain of being mistreated by those I once called friends was difficult, but it was a necessary step toward moving forward and reclaiming my sense of self. I came into Millbrook with a different mindset than I had gone into any other school with. I signed up for ice hockey, photography, and all of the community services that seemed interesting. All of these were foreign to me, but instead of hiding from the things that would make me stand out, I jumped right in. Each year I've spent at this school, I have added something new to my schedule, a community service, an art, or a class. While my schedule has added depth to my experience here at Millbrook, my relationships have made a huge impact. Whether it's sitting in Miss Birnbaum's office during office hours, staying another 5 minutes after buying a bag of chips to talk to Holly, learning the LCS worker in my dorm's name, hanging out in the common room, or riding back in Mr. Downs' car after a panel to talk to him and Miss Grover, I have formed some of the strongest bonds with people on this campus, even beyond the classroom, field, and dorms. High school at Millbrook is a rare and special experience. Nowhere else will we be surrounded by so many people who genuinely care about us. Yes, the winters can be gray and cold, and the dinner may not always be gourmet. But this time is what we make of it. A negative outlook will only hold you back. Embrace the cold winter. Embrace being stuck inside with your friends. Embrace eating cereal for dinner sometimes. Embrace the 4-hour bus rides for a JV soccer game, even when the odds are not in your favor. Because one day, this chapter will end, and we'll wish we could have it all back. Whether you have 4, 3, 2, or a little less than a year to make a mark on this campus and be the best version of yourself, do it. Don't spend your time being someone you're not to fit in or not stand out. We are extremely lucky to be here and be surrounded by people who care about us and opportunities that can help define us. So, thank you to my family for making my Millbrook experience possible, the faculty for the time and work you put in every day, and most importantly, everyone sitting in front of me right now for making this community so special. Take advantage of this place and this time. It's pretty amazing. Thank you.